Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3. What a week of the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. Call it a three-peat.
Call it a three-peat. No one thought we'd make it to 3 episodes.
Not one person.
We're here.
Huge news before we kick off the episode. A couple of things. A couple groundbreaking SCW pieces of news. First of all, I really want to push. We are now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all of these other whatever service you use for podcasts. We are now on it. If you want to listen to it in the car, you want to listen to it in your AirPods and you can't use YouTube, whatever, we are on there. So if you could please, if you use, by all means, keep watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, please. Do both.
Hey, do both.
Do both. Why not? Helps us out.
Watch it and then listen to it. But if you prefer to listen to it without the video on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, if you could please leave a rating and a review. It really, really helps the show out so much in like the charts and We're trying to get back up there. And then a second thing is we are almost at 10,000 subscribers. We are almost at 10,000. We have a live subscriber count up. What are we at?
9,938 at this moment. We'll see. I said to John before we might hit 10K before this podcast ends. So
maybe.
We'll
the numbers jump. It's
the last day or two. It's been going up a lot. I think with the quizzes coming out. We talked about this just going into the algorithm, people's recommended and stuff. So we appreciate you guys, watching the videos, liking, subscribing, all that stuff. Tell everyone we're back. We're still, there are still people out there that don't know we're back yet, but we're here. We're not going anywhere. So tell everyone, make sure to check us out, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your podcast. Check us out on YouTube for this podcast, other quizzes, predictions, all that stuff.
And I'm curious. I was saying this. I'm curious if you could leave a comment if you're new and don't know any of the pet. This is totally new to you, because most people are coming from a different channel and are rediscovering us and refining us as a fresh start for us. But I'm sure there's some people out there that's like, I don't know any of this.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know if you're new to this. If you're coming back from where. We welcome all people. So we appreciate each and every one of you. And John, I think it's time to talk some wrestling.
I know we have a lot. We have a lot to cover. Yep. We have WarGames. We got Raw was really good. We have Dynamite last night. But I think the first place we need to start is settling up.
Yes.
On the SCW predictions champion. Now, I don't want to go over it. We have so much to talk about.
Yeah,
we won't go match by match.
This quick. We'll make this quick.
Just for the sake of we won't be crowning the champion or talking about it until the next predictions, which isn't for a while.
Yes.
So might as well. Yeah,
we'll get it out of the way.
Might as well figure it out. Okay. Let's see. I got Seth losing. I got Finn losing. I got Ronda winning.
Yep.
Team Bianca won. And Bloodline won. So I got 3 right.
Team Bianca won, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Don't count the bonus yet. Don't count the bonus
yet. I have
yet.
3 correct as well.
Without the bonus?
Without the bonus.
Okay. So we are tied.
Yes.
And again, and I know you're a proud champion. It came down to a bonus question last time, and you took the title, and I understand. I respect it. Mm-hmm. So I thought Tegan Knox. We were hedging bets.
Yes,
I said Tegan Knox was going to return at Survivor Series WarGames, and you said
Becky Lynch was going to return at
Survivor Series WarGames.
But technicality, Becky Lynch did return, but it was at the Friday Night SmackDown the night before Survivor Series. So, John, 2 things. One, you need to stop coming up with bonus questions because you're 0-2 so far. But
bad.
In this case, I'm willing to settle for a draw because
you're just going to retain.
Because I'm still going to retain anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not losing the belt.
Sick.
And I'm an honorable champion. I look at it both ways. So it didn't happen at Survivor Series. So technically, I
was ready to give you the point. Be honest with you.
Well, last time I took the point. Last time.
All right, that's fair.
That's fair. We'll keep it fair this time. No matter what, I'm still the champ, so that doesn't change anything. Right. So next time I'll be defending this belt for the next
whatever
Royal Rumble maybe or something like that, or unless AEW has another.
Yeah,
one.
I have no idea. We'll figure it out.
We'll save this for them.
Well, congratulations on retaining.
Thank you very much. Hey, until next time.
That
belt will be around your shoulder in no time, John.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Speaking of WarGames.
Yes.
Survivor Series WarGames happened, and a lot happened. What do you want to do? You want to hit some beats? You want to just run down real quick? What do you want to do?
Yeah, we can just run down. So the first one we have here is Theory beat Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title. Obviously, Austin Theory is going through a character development right now, losing the Money in the Bank briefcase, kind of looking like kind of looks stupid doing it. But then this other edgy personalities coming out now, which is refreshing. I think the character work he's been doing the last few weeks has been great. Won the U.S. belt in like a cheap, heelish, chicken shit way, which I know I saw your tweets and stuff like that, how you feel about it. But I think if you were to put the belt on Theory, this was the best way to do it. I mean, it's kind of like a cheap finish, a heel finish, like I said.
Yeah.
Theory didn't know what he was doing. And Bobby Lashley, like, he didn't eat the pin, but he looked strong, spearing Seth. Seth doesn't look weak. I mean, I think Seth's at a point where, like, he can lose to fucking a returning Hornswoggle and still be fine afterwards. But at the end of the day, too, it's just kind of like you lost the briefcase and just to win the championship a few weeks later, like that part I'm kind of up in the air about, but I think just the whole briefcase is out of the situation now. They're just kind of going on with him being the U.S. champ. I'm fine with it, just as long as the direction's good. Triple H is going to take care of him. Storyline makes sense. I'm cool with it, but I'm interested to hear what you think about this.
I'm just notably not a Theory fan. Like I just like.
What about him? Do you not like?
I just think he's boring.
Boring.
Even like I get that I think he's in 2022. He would be the best performer in 2010.
Sure.
Like he would be leagues ahead. But now just wrestling is just so.
He's like one of a million. Not he's like one of like he's not head and shoulders above the next guy.
Exactly.
Like he's on the line. He's on par with everyone.
Years
else.
ago he would have been.
Sure.
But just because it's advanced so much, and I just like
I get that.
And I honestly have this same, not to like really jump ahead, but I even have this same thing with Bryan Danielson. Is I love swag. Okay. I love style,
yeah,
and not to say that they don't have style. I just like a little bit more of like showmanship and pizzazz, which is why I lean more toward Roman, Seth, Kenny, Penta, because they just have a little bit more.
Yeah, I get that.
They have the Ultimate Warrior-ness to them.
I think this is one of those things where like we just have to wait and see where his character goes. Because I think this is his first.
I'm for it.
I think this is his first legit like taken seriously character.
I agree.
Everything else prior to Money in the Bank I thought was stupid. Money in the Bank was rushed, obviously. And now I think he has a set direction. So you're very valid in saying what you were before. I think we'll see what happens over the next few months.
And believe I'm not
I'm not the biggest fan of his. I'm not a member of his fan club. You know what I mean? But like,
I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm ready to if I'm ready to get won over by him.
Right.
Like, I'm definitely not.
He's got the look. He's not terrible on the mic. Yeah. I do think he does need to improve his ring skills a little bit, and also his finisher sucks. It's like an attitude adjustment to a knee on the face. First of all, if you fight someone like you can, it looks good when you're fighting like a smaller opponent. Like Dolph Ziggler sold the move fantastically, but then you fight someone like a Roman Reigns, that's not gonna really work. You know, he needs a better finisher too. That doesn't sell me. But I'm optimistic.
Yeah,
this is going,
I didn't think they were gonna give it to him so fast. I'm curious what like, and this is what we've been saying the whole time. Is like if Seth loses, he's got to get in the title in the main title picture, which it doesn't seem like it is happening. And again, not to like keep jumping around, but it's all a part of the same thing. He came out and confronted Theory on Raw, right?
Wearing the mesh. The mesh
was sick. I loved
wore
it.
Like years ago, they did the side by side. It was great.
So like, and if we're doing a Theory versus Seth thing for the U.S. title again, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. We have a new Austin Theory character to use.
Make the belt look good too with Seth in there.
Yeah. As much as I think we're just diehard Seth guys, as much as we want Seth to be in the world title picture, I think this is gonna be great because now it's the belt on Raw.
Exactly. And Seth actually like is involved in some sort of championship feud, which is like better than just being away from it completely. So we'll see. My thing with this, kind of finish it and move on with this match specifically. Overall, I thought WarGames was good. I was seeing on Twitter, I think I wasn't as hot on it. I think it was like just every match I thought was just there. This match, the last like 5 to 10 minute sequence, gold. Was great. That was the highlight of the match.
I could have used 5 more minutes of it. But with this one specific, and it's how I feel differently about AJ versus Finn, this match, because of the ending, because like the Theory, chicken shit, heel, whatever, and it ended abruptly and whatever, that makes sense. I'm fine with that. It's like, I wanted 5 more minutes, but that's what I'm supposed to want.
Okay.
AJ versus Finn. Thought it was good. AJ beats Finn.
It could have been better, but it was fine.
I think it could have been better. And again, it's another one of those moments where the last like 5 or 10 minute sequence was great.
Right. Yep.
I wish the whole match was kind of at that pace or closer to that pace.
Yeah.
And then AJ beats Finn. Cool with that. I mean, that's not what I had, but that's cool.
That was his first
in like what, 2 years or some shit?
3 years or some shit. Like, I don't know. I saw a tweet too. His 7-year anniversary of debuting in WWE is coming up.
Wow.
7 years.
That's actually crazy.
To
a point of people never thinking he would step foot.
That's
in
what
WWE
I'm saying. So he came in 2016. Well, first of all, 2023 is next year. It's fucking unbelievable. But yeah, like he's done so much in the 7 years. He's done a lot in the 7 years, but I feel like most of it was like in the first like 3 or 4 years. In the last few years, he's just been kind of floating around.
He'll like be with a tag team.
He was with Omos for like a year, bro. Like that's such a
AJ's SmackDown Live run was that was good.
2016. That was when I started rewatching, like fully rewatching in college with my friends, bro. That SmackDown Live with him, Ambrose, Cena, Wyatt, Orton.
It was really
Dolph
good.
Ziggler, The Miz. Oh, what a fucking time, bro.
That was when The Miz was on top.
That's
too.
when
That was when The Miz was doing like his MJF level run to what's happening
him and
now.
Dolph Ziggler were putting on fucking banger after banger. Oh, what a time. What a time. Okay.
I don't have much to say about the AJ Finn match.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Nothing really to talk about. It was a good match.
This one might get mean. Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. Man, you wrote an article about this.
I did write an article.
Check it out on ClutchPoints.com.
Check it out. Yeah.
You went all journalism on this. You take
yeah.
This match bothered you so much that you broke out your journalism degree.
It doesn't, and that it takes a lot. It takes a lot for me to break out the degree. Ronda Rousey's been in WWE almost 5 years now. Granted, she did take a little time off after WrestleMania 35, came back for Royal Rumble a little while later. Okay. First match looked great with Kurt Angle's Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. Everyone's just like, damn, this chick, like Ronda Rousey goes from being the baddest woman on the planet in the UFC to coming over to WWE and like seemingly made it look easy for like a UFC fighter, right? And then, you know, they started doing the character work, blah, 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 blah. And eventually they had the match with Becky, Charlotte. It was okay. The finish was what it was. And then Ronda Rousey comes back. And she's like she had the whole Royal Rumble win. They had a few with Charlotte. But it's like she's been in WWE for 5 years, and every match I watch of hers keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
And like part of it, I do not think she's the worst wrestler on the roster, but I think what plays into all of this is one, her character work is awful. I think that she's too like blurred lines of like being a face and like she's supposed to be
and the look
and
too.
stuff, and
like,
the
not
look.
not even just the character work, but like the weird eye makeup they give her, and like when she started with the whole like the Roddy Piper thing with the kilt,
that was cool.
That was cool, and like I get they still kind of like do have her in like MMA-ish attire, but like if she's supposed to be this like
female Brock Lesnar,
whatever,
that's what she should be, the female Brock Lesnar.
This destroyer of the women's division.
She should be the one. She should be like destroying her opponents. And I love Liv Morgan. Nothing against her, but like she lost to Liv Morgan clean at SummerSlam. You're Ronda fucking Rousey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you're supposed to be the one that you're supposed to destroy people like Liv Morgan. I just have an issue with how they present her, and just I don't know if she cares. It just kind of doesn't seem like she like really gives a shit about the wrestling. She shits on the fans. I remember years ago when they were booing her, she made a big deal out of them booing her. It's like, bro, that's wrestling. Like, do you not know what wrestling is? Like, the good guys get booed, the bad guys get cheered nowadays. That's just how it is. Yeah, I know they want to do the whole Ronda Becky match at some point. That's kind of been years in the work, but honestly, I don't even know if I want that. I think Becky deserves better than that.
Ronda needs a mouthpiece.
She needs a Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Paul Heyman specifically, but like
even
someone
specifically
like
Paul Heyman. Obviously, you know, not realistic. Paul Heyman's with Bloodline, but like if she had specifically Paul Heyman, that would be great.
That would be beautiful. Just present her as just that present her as the baddest woman on the planet.
She might not be the worst like performer, but she might be one of the worst on the mic.
Yes. No, she has no business holding a mic in the ring. No
there
business.
was like this one clip that was kind of going around on Twitter, where it's her and fucking what's her face? Shayna. Her and Shayna, and they were just like just the way they were talking sound like they were just like the two popular girls in high school. And it's like, and even speaking of Shayna and Ronda Rousey just talking haha, you can't sit at the cool table with us. Like, what?
You're supposed to kick the shit out of the people that sit at your table at lunch.
They should be like, we're gonna drink the blood of the women's debate. Like, they should be fucking
exactly
going crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. So that match genuinely for me like knocked my Survivor Series rating down a few points because like how bad it was.
Rough.
It brought the show down.
There's another clip that's really going around where Shotzi was trying to give her the DDT on the apron. Ronda just didn't take it. Like, she put the knee down, didn't take any of it.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Shotzi too, because I feel like she got some slack for it because she's had a history of botching some stuff and all that. But like,
and Shotzi's good, but she's not to the level where she can carry a match.
No,
and that was some of the biggest the biggest pieces of conversation was now. I mean, we all know that Charlotte's good. There's a lot of Charlotte haters out there, and I'm not the biggest Charlotte fan, but I know she's one of the most talented in the world.
Rousey for fucking sure.
But a big part of the conversation is like, okay, now we can look at that feud and we see how much Charlotte really carried. Yeah. And Shotzi isn't to the level of Charlotte where she can just carry
100%
a sandbag.
But if you put Shotzi against like a Charlotte or Becky or like Sasha, like that match would be fine.
100%.
Because you have someone that can carry the
100%.
match. But when you put her up against another,
but not even you have someone that can carry the match. If Shotzi's going against like a Charlotte or a Becky, no one needs to carry anyone.
Exactly. Yeah, that match would just flow smoothly. Like they're professionals. They know what they're doing. Ronda Rousey, it's just it's like a sandbag.
It's the reason why AJ Styles versus James Ellsworth wasn't terrible, because AJ is so fucking good.
Yeah, exactly.
He can carry a match and it be good.
It's just I don't know why she's been in this business for so long and there's been no improvement.
Should WWE fire Ronda Rousey?
No,
that was a trending thing.
They're not going to, because there's money to be made. I'm sure merch sales, she's up there and stuff, and I'm sure no matter what we say, she's gonna get the reaction from the crowd, which is ultimately what you're trying to get, right?
Sure.
And she's a Triple H person as well. He brought her in. I don't think that would ever happen. Would she leave? I mean, she basically did it once already, so I can definitely see her doing it again, like after this WrestleMania.
I was gonna say the second she drops the title, I'd imagine she's done.
I'm fine if she's gone.
Yeah,
and it's crazy to think that she's won like multiple world championships in her time in WWE and like hasn't deserved one of them. The first run was okay.
First run was fine.
But ever since that WrestleMania, like since she's returned, awful. Even her match with Charlotte at WrestleMania was ass.
People it wasn't good. Yeah.
And like that's not supposed to happen. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So
I don't want to talk about Ronda
I'd say
anymore.
I'm optimistic, but at this point, I don't think I am.
We have more fun things to talk about. Women's WarGame match.
Banger.
Good. I wouldn't say banger.
Yeah, it wasn't the men's WarGame match was a banger. Yeah. Not as good as the men's WarGame match, but it was fine. It was a good match.
It was good. I would like in both, because like it was very hyped up, and we even hyped it up of it being a spot fest. Wasn't
not
nearly
as much
a spot
as I thought
fest.
It would be.
It gets compared to like, which I mean, it's hard to compare to Blood and Guts because AEW is just gonna bust everyone open. Which I'm not here sitting as a critic like AEW uses too much blood. That's obnoxious. But it was good. Io Sky was really good. She had a couple of.
She did the moonsault off the top.
She did the moonsault off the top. A little bit of over rotation. I'm not here to. Hey, I'm not. Who am I to critique?
She looked like she was in bad shape after the match. Rio had to like carry her to the.
Yeah,
back.
she had like a couple of botches here and there.
They said she was like dehydrated or something. Yeah, like that. Or she was. I mean, that was a 50-minute match. That's a lot.
It was. Yeah,
it's a lot.
Overall, good. We got a lot of fun spots with like Becky. I think once Becky entered the match, that's
when it turned up.
My thing with the WarGames matches is after seeing these two and then, looking back on some of the past ones, I think the problem is the time thing. They should just either start with everyone in the match or make it a little. I think just the build up to when the match actually starts till everyone's in the ring, because there was multiple times, especially in the women's match, where it was just like Dakota Kai and Io Sky and then like three other of the other one, and then at that point it's just like they're kind of just going at it for 5 minutes, and you can kind of tell where they're just like killing time.
Sure.
They're like, all right, let me pick up this chair and let's figure it. Like a lot of just like kind of waiting around and whatever. And I don't know, it could have been tighter and this is for the men's games too, because I think I have the same opinion for both. I like the WarGames, I like the setup, but yeah, I think that's my one takeaway. Is I think it could be a little bit leading up to the big moment is just really slow for me.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I think how NXT did it, I think it used to just be 4-on-4. I think this is the only time they've done 5-on-5, and I think the reason they did that is because Bloodline's 5 people.
That makes because I remember they used to, they did Undisputed Era.
Because Undisputed Era was 4v4.
Yeah.
That's why that might play a part into it too. Too many people. Because that's my initial
see that.
thought
10
was,
people is a lot.
My initial thought was, 10 people is a lot for one match.
And especially if 2 or 3 people are doing like the big spot, then you have 6 or 7 people just kind of hanging around.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it's that was a little excessive, the people. But again, the match concept is great.
Sure.
I think it did drag on a little bit, and once the final person goes in, that's when it picked up and all that. But overall, I thought it's the first. That technically was the first WarGames match on the main roster. I'm sure going forward there'll be improvements. There'll be. I mean, Triple H makes it sound like they're making this an annual.
And I'm down for it.
I'm down for it. I think the idea is great.
All my criticisms, past all that, I loved it. I love the idea of it. I love the 2 rings in the cage, and I even I think it's fun. During the night, you get the regular matches, and there's just the other ring just sitting there. That's even just a fun part of it.
Right.
But let's go on to the men's WarGame match. I don't know how much we want to talk about the overall match. I think the storyline.
The story's in there.
The match was good. Especially that last 5 minutes with Kevin Owens and Roman.
Phenomenal.
I'm so happy Kevin Owens is there. Kevin Owens is in. It's with Sami Zayn too, and he's in the main event picture. Yep. And I'm not really one for I like just talking about the show. We don't really touch upon ooh, here's some breaking rumor news.
Sure.
But I guess there was one spot. A rumor is Roman's not happy because Kevin kind of hit him in the ear or some shit.
Did you see the clip that he did hit him? So
he fucking walloped him.
Slapped him, bro. Because I guess what they said, Roman his eardrum burst.
Yeah.
So he must have fucking clanked him right there. What I mean, that's gonna hurt.
It's fair.
But it's wrestling. Shit happens. So,
but I think what we're all waiting for. 20 minutes in, we can talk about one of the greatest moments, and not even conclusive. We're still very deep in the story, but one of the greatest moments in storytelling and wrestling in the past, however many years you want to say. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso unite. The bloodline is formed. No cracks in the bloodline. And this was a big point of this was either going to be a lot of cracks, and this was the pay-per-view we're gonna see it. I love that they built up some cracks and they got through it, and now they're good. So there's so many arcs and curves to the story, and I would have loved for Sami Zayn to turn on Roman and hit him with a haluva kick, and that be the turn.
Sure.
I think that would have been a great moment for it, but
they're waiting.
But I love the waiting and the slow burn. And the slow burn's good because there's stuff happening.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a Bray Wyatt thing we were talking about. There's stuff going on in between.
Really, and now there's so much to talk about now with Sami and Kevin. I think waiting on it now allows for the Sami and Kevin thing. And now there's still, because Roman's a little weary still.
You saw the picture at the end.
He's still a little weary.
You saw the picture at the end. They're kind of looking.
Go ahead. What do you think?
First of all, I think this is the best story that WWE has told in a long time. You're getting rave.
I agree.
The Undertaker came out and said this is the best story. They're doing such a great job, and I'm so happy they didn't start developing big cracks last night, because I think doing what they did is giving people hope. People are oh my god, it's working, and then that's when they do break up, it's gonna mean more.
And also, and this is from a business standpoint, Sami with the bloodline,
dude, it's money, bro. The shirts, honor, why?
If I had to guess, it's just me speculating. If I had to guess, it was gonna happen at that night, but then Sami's been so fucking good. They're oh, we need a couple months of this.
I bet you this him being in the bloodline wasn't wasn't really supposed to go on this way, or wasn't supposed to last this long. But because of how good and how the reception has been, they've had no choice but to keep it going.
I would bet it was just gonna be a funny little 1 or 2 week
short
gag
thing, and
then he pulls out Uzi, and then these cracks start developing, because it's just it's a natural. It's just a natural story.
It makes it's not pushy. It just everything makes sense. And 2, because Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman are very much on top of the storyline. Since the very beginning, they're Roman's if I'm coming back and doing this, we're doing this right. Roman like loves this. Like if Sami's still going, like that means Roman like loves working with him, and that's fucking sick. I'm happy. It's like Sami Zayn has been like a well-known name for a while. NXT obviously was a massive part of NXT.
Yeah.
But like now he's really starting to get that recognition he deserves.
And now I mean we haven't seen we haven't really seen. When's the last time he wrestled?
I guess this past weekend, but before that, probably like in a tag team match or something like that.
But I'm excited to start getting like the Bloodline start sending Sami Zayn out and Sami Zayn start killing it. Because one of my favorite matches of all time is that Sami Zayn versus Nakamura NXT match. Mm-hmm. If we can get that Sami Zayn again, oh my god,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think now. Because I do believe that this storyline is going to end before WrestleMania. Because in my head, I'm seeing the whole Sami on Monday Night Raw. I'm kind of jumping ahead here.
We got 4 or 5 months. We got 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months. Because now he's saying like, this is my family and stuff like that. So now I'm thinking, oh my god, like when they do turn on him, like that line's gonna get brought up again. And
so you think the Bloodline's gonna turn on Sami?
Oh yeah, 100%. I still think that's gonna happen.
I think Sami's turning on the Bloodline.
I think that Sami's so caught up in thinking this is my family. Like Kevin Owens is his best friend. He's like, fuck you, this is my family. They're gonna turn on Sami. Kevin's like, I'm not fucking helping you. Then Sami's gonna have to do a lot of like help like
I don't think
convincing and
stuff. I don't think it's genuine. And I think in the back of Sami's mind, he's like, this is all a long plot.
But that's the best thing about the storyline is that it can go a million different directions.
When's the last time we had a storyline where we could genuinely talk about the storyline and not like
we know what's
backstage
gonna happen
stuff, right?
Yes.
So a lot of this wrestling talk, especially if you're that into it, you're like, oh, the storyline's so good. I heard so and so's contract is this, and that means this. But like, it's great to be so invested in a storyline where we can talk about the storyline. Oh no, I think Sami is this.
Yeah,
and
we don't know what's
happening. It's all storyline stuff, which is really, really refreshing to talk about.
I also think because Usos now they're at 500 days as tag champs, they're already breaking those records. Because now I can see Owens and Sami facing the Usos at least at WrestleMania for the belts. Because that's what I'm thinking.
I didn't even think
Because that's what I'm thinking in my head. That's why I'm thinking they'll reconcile and be like, we're taking those two out, and then whoever takes on Roman takes on Roman, whether it's Cody, Rock, whoever.
I hope they stick with Bloodline stuff, because I could also see them turning into just like either the Bloodline turns or Sami turns, whatever. I could see this breaking into Sami versus Kevin.
Yeah, sure.
But I wouldn't. I mean, Grant, I would love that match, but I want to see everything stay within the Bloodline story, because that could break off and all of a sudden be its own thing.
Yeah.
But I like that everything's intertwined.
Yeah.
I hope Sami and Roman fight for the title.
That would be sick.
That's what I'm hoping.
So I wrote another article. Check that out on ClutchPoints.com of who I think Roman's next opponent should be. I think Kevin Owens is kind of like they're kind of setting it up. See him and Reigns at the Rumble, but then you got Elimination Chamber, and I know that's not like a big name pay-per-view, and Roman might not defend the belt at that event. But if that whole theory of the whole Sami Zayn getting turned on, him and Kevin Owens becoming a thing again, I can see Sami Roman fighting at Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania. I was just looking. So that's the next pay-per-view? Royal Rumble. Day one, isn't it? They canceled day one. So
what am I looking at? Okay. Oh, I'm looking at the 2022. Sorry, keep going. Look at this.
So there's a chance if it goes down that direction. I think if the Bloodline turns on Zayn or Zayn turns on the Bloodline, we should see Sami versus Roman, because I feel like that's kind of like not a full circle, but like kind of like we want that match.
Okay, so the Rumble's next. Gotcha. The Rumble's next on Elimination Chamber, and then Stand Deliver.
That's NXT, I think.
Is that next? Oh yeah, you're
right. I think so. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I was again like Roman doesn't defend his belt a lot, so I don't know if he would defend it at Chamber, but I think Kevin Owens.
So really, there's only 2 more pay-per-views to build this up for Mania. Wow,
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know what they're doing, and like again, like if the Bloodline stay together, I'm cool with that. They can keep this going for another year if they wanted to be honest with you, but.
Sounds like Roman versus The Rock is pretty done for this year, huh?
I don't know, because
but there is still the Bloodline story.
There's still time to develop that. I just don't like the idea.
There's no shot.
I just don't like the idea. If the match does happen, the belt's going to be on the line.
Right,
Which I think is a stupid idea, because the only reason you're having that match, The Rock ain't coming back to become Universal Champ. The Rock's 50 years old. He ain't wrestling full time. He's coming back because he wants to be the head of the table. That's what's on the line. That's all you need. You don't need the belts for that. So that's the only part of this.
If they do it not this upcoming WrestleMania, but the year after, then they got to keep up the tribal chief and Bloodline gimmick.
They better hope that they have shit set up.
And like I think they could.
They're doing a great job long term. It seems like they have like the long term story built out, which is great. But like that's.
Because, like, I could see them doing it if they give Roman a break, but that would mean, again, him losing the title, and then let him take a 4 to 6 month break.
He probably
and then come back for the next Mania, and then that's when they start building The Rock for,
Could. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone thinks or expects Cody to come back, win the Royal Rumble. Obviously, if there's only one champ, the Royal Rumble winner. I mean, The Rock can't, unless The Rock wins the Royal Rumble, which should not happen.
Crazy.
Which should not happen. Triple H, do not do that. Roman Reigns is gonna have to face someone other than Cody, other than the Royal Rumble winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he has to face Cody if he wins the Rumble. And
then,
Rock's out of the picture.
Yeah, it's too late to split the belts too, so it's not even like they have that out of having two belts.
And I've read this online, people talking about the draft, they'll have them split there and stuff, but it's like have a one belt on one brand, one belt on the other. But I think that's kind of stupid.
When would they after WrestleMania the draft?
I guess.
Or at the top
I think
of the
it would
year?
be after I think it would be after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Or WrestleMania is 2 nights. I saw a theory, and they would never do this. Roman loses one belt on night 1, another belt on night 2. That would be ridiculous.
Jesus.
You literally just buried your top guy from the last 10 years. That's not going to happen. But just kind of wrapping this all up, whatever does happen, I'm cool with it because I trust the story.
Yeah,
I trust the story.
Yeah.
I in my head, I think this is going to happen. This might happen, but I'll let Triple H and all the Bloodline take control, and I'll just enjoy it.
Agreed. Well, that was Survivor Series WarGames. So overall, we'll move on to we got still more to talk about. I guess at this point, not as much on Raw because it all kind of ties into the same shit. But so WarGames, what would you, if you want to give it a rating, or if you want overall score, what are we talking?
Initially, I think I tweeted 8.5 out of 10.
That's
that
high.
Was high.
That's high.
That was high. I agree. I'm going back on that. I think I would give it a solid 8. I think I'd notch it down half a rating. I'd go 8 out of 10. The Ronda Rousey match really brought it down for me.
Yeah.
I thought the Theory match was good. Finn AJ was good. The 2 WarGames match I was a fan of. The men's WarGame match really is what elevated it.
For sure.
So I'll go 8.
I'll go, I'm like around there. I'm a little lower. I'll probably go 7, 7.5, something like that.
All right,
but
perfect.
Same.
All right, cool.
Monday Night Raw. My note here is that Monday Night Raw was good.
It was.
I think it was the best episode of Raw in a while.
Good pacing.
In a long time. Started with the Becky promo. And we don't kind of run down the whole card again. A lot of it tied into what we talked about with WarGames, but Becky's already made her return, but like solidified, especially with this promo. She's back to being the man.
Good.
She was in the crowd. She did a lot of crowd work and super mega face.
Yep. As she should be.
Yeah, I loved the promo, and that turned into the Bailey and Damage Control like fighting outside and like all the shit. And
that's the only 4 horsewoman feud that we haven't had yet on the main roster.
Is Becky versus Bailey? Wow, yep. I'm for it.
I'm for it. Hey, it was gonna happen eventually, right? And Bailey as a heel is fucking awesome. I love her.
Yeah, no, Bailey's a great heel.
She was a great face, obusly, like in her NXT run early.
She's
main
funny
roster.
too,
bro. As a heel, like the whole ding dong, like she just shits on people and stuff. She was in the crowd. She like ripped a Seth Rollins shirt. And she's like, "What are you gonna do? Throw me in jail?" That's just like subtle things. That's great.
People are criticizing that she's back to the man gimmick.
She was the thing with Becky. She's a great face. She was a great heel, but I think she's a better face.
I think this character works the best for her because it's like no bullshit. Just like I'm a wrestler and I'm the fucking man.
Taking
I'm
what's yours.
One.
Yeah,
right.
I mean that's what kind of like started like made her mainstream. Like she was just.
And I didn't love her last gimmick. I mean, her last gimmick was the same as Seth.
Was her last
just like
gimmick. I thought you said like her last kicker gimmick because that's what she was like the last kicker. I think was like. I was like, we're really going back now.
No, I mean I like that gimmick too, but
the big time Becks.
Big time Becks, where it's like basically her and Seth had the same gimmick, and it was all the showy whatever. And I'm on record of still not in love with Seth's gimmick. I like all his work and I like his promos, whatever. But like, it's what's the word? I'm liking it more and more.
Yeah, it's growing on you.
It's growing. That's what I'm looking for. It's growing on me. But love Becky back as the man. It's still early. I don't have much to say about it. I just thought it was a great segment and a great way to propel Becky being back coming out of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I wonder what direction they're going to go down for her because they're definitely going to do her and Bailey like a Royal Rumble or something like that. That's not going to be a WrestleMania match. I wonder because to set up the whole Ronda Rousey, if they'd go down that route, she would have to win the Royal Rumble and then go to SmackDown.
And you also have to think, I mean, Charlotte might be coming back.
Charlotte might be coming back. So it's like then the Raw women's belt, Bianca, like who's going to face her? Rhea Ripley's name was getting thrown around, I could see them
doing the Becky and Bianca rematch.
I think they should end. They shouldn't pick. Not yet. They already did the whole like.
I guess they already did do the rematch.
SummerSlam, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. They can revisit that down the line.
And they teased it a lot in the WarGames.
There's history there. I think that's something that you can sit on for a while and then pick it back. They should focus on like the other feuds and then go back to it. But like Rhea Ripley could get thrown in the mix, which I think she's great. She should. Yeah. Charlotte, she doesn't have. I mean, Charlotte and Becky don't need to win the Royal Rumble. They don't, but it's like an easy setup.
Sorry, real quick on Rhea Ripley. Everyone's got to stop being creepy on Twitter.
Yeah,
every
she's
time
got a
she
lot
wrestles,
of weird.
Every
fans.
time she wrestles, it's like Rhea Ripley, and it's like a screenshot of her ass or something. Can we relax?
Yeah, but there's a lot of horn dogs on social media.
Let's take a step back and let's take it easy.
Very weird.
Jesus.
People really like calling her mommy. Really like using that word.
It's like,
I'm a fan of her.
I think she's a great wrestler.
I think she's amazing.
And it doesn't even matter. But like, sure, she's attractive or she's not. Can we stop just like she's one of the best wrestlers? And can we stop? Like, I don't know. It's just gross.
Stop sexualizing it.
Yeah, it's just gross.
Just like enjoy the wrestling.
She'll have a huge match, and then it's just like, this is what I paid for, and it's like, bro, come on.
Yeah. There's always gonna be people like that. Unfortunately,
we're feminists.
Hey, what can we say? But yeah, I think it's eventually Rhea Ripley should hold a championship.
I agree. Yeah,
I think she's past due for that.
Did you see how good? We should have talked about it last week, but how the Dominic breaking into Rey Mysterio's house.
Great.
So
that was
good.
so
fucking good.
Because it's like that's not even a storyline anymore, but it's just a little subtle thing. It's like, oh hey, by the way, beat the shit out of my dad. And
it was very like I'd say it was very even like our era and even like a little like late Attitude Era.
That
People
was like
breaking in homes.
When Triple H,
Randy Orton and Triple H. It was that's exactly what it reminded me of, and it was just like it was almost like paying homage to that.
When Seth and Edge feuded, he went to Edge's home.
Yeah.
So they've done a
no, you're right.
Which is like it's a nice little
sprinkle.
Yeah, nice little sprinkle.
Let's see. Not much to say about. I mean, Judgment Day and OC. They had it as I'm not really a fan of the OC in general. Yeah,
I need that feud to end at some point.
I'm not a fan of the OC in general. I like AJ Styles. I like Mia Yim. Judgment Day, I'm just also kind of over. I like Finn, but for all that criticism, they had a really good match. Really great match. But let's please end it right.
So
that's all I have to say about that. Nothing, Street Profits are back. Street Profits are back.
I was watching it. I don't know why. I just thought Montez Ford was just going to turn on Dawkins. Like,
really?
Because I know, like, eventually he's going to go down the singles route, which he should, Montez, because he is a star in the making. Not maybe, like, he's definitely needs time to build as a single star. But, I don't know. It was just a whole, like, they're back for the first time in months. Like, they're building it up. And it's like, for Montez Ford to just, like, turn heel like that. I thought that could have been a cool surprise. Didn't happen, obviously.
See, I had a little bit different look on it. Montez Ford is he's always the star. He's always the one.
You think it's going to be the other way?
No. I'm just saying in general. Dawkins looked fucking good.
He's been looking good though. He's obviously
amazing.
With Ford out, he hasn't been around because obviously with him out. But like over the last few months, like he's improved a lot,
and he looks good.
He looks great.
He dropped some weight, gained some muscle. He lost the shirt. And
I think he knows the rumors of that. If they split up, Montez is getting the bump. He needs to be like, I gotta get in good shape.
And he's
so I get
showing up.
Yeah, which is good.
He's never been bad. He's always been good.
Right.
But for whatever in this match, I was just like, oh, Dawkins show. And I mean, how long have they been gone? 3-4 months? A few months, whatever. Like I think that break might have been the best thing for the both of them. Now they have a little bit of fire ignited. Montez Ford is as good as ever. I mean, that fucking frog splash to the ceiling looks great.
Always amazing.
And then now that we're kind of getting away from like the Montez Ford carrying if Dawkins can keep this up,
and they're on like the same level,
exactly.
They could be serious. They could be serious.
Good. I can't stress that enough. Montez Ford has still the star power.
Yes, he still is the one that he's the star of the show. But Dawkins is catching up. I don't want them to do them Usos again. I know the matches are so good, but it's like like, you just know at this point the Usos aren't going to lose to them. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I love the Street Profits. I do, but it's just I don't want to see the same feud over and over again.
They probably start out well with like maybe a Brawling Brutes feud or something.
Sure, yeah, something like that. Someone they should get into a rivalry with someone different. I don't want them to get thrown back in with the Usos. They had their
I'd be down to see them reignite the
if they
New
did
Day stuff.
Oh, New Day would be cool.
I thought New Day, yeah.
That would be cool.
I'd be cool with that.
I'd be
like they're on SmackDown.
If they fight, sure. Like, it's gonna be a great match, but it's like we've seen it already. I just want I like to see new things.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Something I'm not too invested in. Dexter Lumis got his contract. I just haven't. It might just be my fault of not really paying attention to that. Okay,
no, it's dragged on for like 2 months too long.
Yeah.
It was cool at first. It was like, oh, Dexter Lumis is coming through the crowd trying to like. Everyone thought it was AJ that he was going after at first, and it was the Miz and like kidnapping him. Then Gargano got involved, and it's like Miz was having dinner with like people wearing a wire and stuff, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? And then Miz, like, he kept pushing off the match for a few weeks, so it's like they were hyping that up for like 2-3 weeks. And Dexter's cool. Like, I think the character is great and everything, but I just think they really dragged this on too long. If they made it like snappy, quick, like this ending happened 2 months ago, I think it would have been made sense, but like it dragged on.
So what's Dexter again? This is coming from someone who's not invested in Dexter Lumis or this storyline.
What's
at all.
next?
What do you think's next for Dexter Lumis?
I know, bro. I mean, so like the whole thing was he wins the match and he takes a bag of money from the Miz that he was use
the Louis Vuitton bag,
and he's like handing the money out to like kids and stuff. So he's like doing a face thing, but like his character is like a psycho killer type of thing. So
I'm all for the character, but I
just don't know the direction. I mean, Gargano and him did stuff together in NXT, so maybe he's kind of like Gargano's bodyguard, maybe, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, the bodyguard role would just bump him down.
Exactly, so yeah. So I don't know. It's not that I don't care, but I'm not as interested as I was a few months ago.
I guess last bit before we get into Dynamite, we got Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso to close out the show. Just kind of progress some more stuff. I mean, there was the which we didn't talk about, but it all kind of ties into the same thing. The Bloodline promo. Jey Uso.
That was Uso right there. That was I fucking loved that.
And even like
the handshake.
Oh yeah, the handshake's sick. But like, I think even like. So first of all, they did like the group hug with like
Jimmy.
They brought Jimmy, and then they tried getting Solo in, and then Kevin's music hit, and then I think like the biggest part of that was like Sami and Kevin going back and forth, and the storytelling. I mean, the storytelling has been told for 8 years with Kevin and Sami.
For sure.
So like super emotional. Sami going to Kevin and saying like, "I don't need you. I have a family now," and Kevin Owens just being like, "I'm done," emotionless, just being like, I'm fucking done with you. Like for good or bad, it's just like I'm over it.
Yep.
And then like that whole thing, which is why I think there's still so much like emotion tied in that feud. Where it's like there's still so much to tell there. But so all of that was great. That led into the main event, and then Jey sticking up for Sami, and then you got that moment verbally of. I forget what the specific line was, but basically
he was like Kevin, he's mad that he doesn't have a family around him or something like that.
Well, but also like if you got a problem,
messing with Sami.
If you have a problem with Sami, you're messing with main event Jey.
Yep.
So Jey Uso sticking up for Sami and going into a match for him on his behalf.
That's what
and
I'm
that
saying.
Leading up.
If it happens, like the breakup, like they're building it up, like Jey Uso loves this guy now, and then like he's gonna be the one to tear it. Oh, it's gonna be so. This is gonna be genuinely because like Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, they had that breakup, which was heartbreaking. So it was like kind of unexpected. This is gonna be like one of the biggest heartbreaks of like this generation,
or even if
like genuinely,
because like Jimmy's been on Sami's side the whole time too. So if Jimmy turns or something happens with them, because those two have been tight.
I've been hearing a lot of things too. A lot of people are pushing for Jey to be the one that ends the reign. They think it should become a full circle thing because that's how this whole thing started. With Jey, and it ends with Jey because obviously like.
I'd be cool with that, but do they have plans to make Jey
at that point? It's like you're committing to him being. I think he's done enough to show that he could be a main event player, but as the world champ.
The Usos are just so. And again, Kofi got the title,
right?
But Kofi's IMO.
It was a feel good moment. It was like,
but Kofi can stand on his own more than like a Jey Uso.
Oh, 1,000%. Because
Jey and I'm not talking talent wise, but purely just like. Stardom, and it probably helps because Kofi was a single competitor.
Kofi he won Intercontinental United States belt, so he had the solo.
I think it could work, But like they'd really have to like. I mean, I'm sure they could do a thing where the Usos stay together, but like they do a thing where like one of them is just the guy now.
Right.
I'm down for it. I just think it would be.
And it goes back to the whole. There's a million different directions this could go down. Like that would be a sick ending, but they have to build that up the right way. They can't just like overnight Jey Uso does it. But okay.
Before we get into Dynamite, check the live subscriber count. Whoa!
We're 3 away from 10,000. Let's go.
We are at. I wish. I mean, I'm not. we're doing this live, so it's not on the screen. But we are at 9,997. We started this podcast at 9,933. So just doing this podcast math, we gained. I mean, almost
61.
Oh wow, good for you.
Thank you. Damn, that's
no, not
sick.
61.
Because we started
9,933. It's not 61.
Oh, 64.
Okay.
63.
I didn't know the answer. 60. I knew it wasn't 61.
Guys, we're not here to do math. We're here to talk wrestling. That's sick.
I'll keep this up because I have like the rundown, but I'll keep this up on the side just so we can.
Okay. So we freak out when it gets to 10K.
Come on. How do you do the fucking whatever?
I know what you're trying to do.
I was trying to have it on half the screen. Anyway, sorry. We're going to hit 10K in the middle of this. But I'm happy it's happening in the middle of this podcast. That's sick. We like opened that shit up and it was just like wow,
that's awesome.
Sorry.
Okay, so
anyway,
AEW.
I want to keep this up. Okay.
All right. Well, John,
Moxley.
Yep.
Moxley starts the show. God damn it, he will not take a vacation.
I think he's not taking a vacation now because his wife is signed with AEW.
Yeah.
Right.
I would imagine
because like he was supposed to take, from what people are making it sound like, a decently sized break, which he deserves. Obviously, everything happened with CM Punk, all that stuff has to come back. They need a champ. And, like, he loses to Regal and MJF, and I was like, oh, this is a perfect way to write him off for a while.
I thought we weren't going to see him for
Regal
months.
turns on him good, shows up the next night, shows up the week after, and now Hangman returns, and now they're feuding, which is cool. I don't think they've had, like, an official, like legit feud before. I could be wrong,
they really just kind of rushed into the title match. Like he like Hangman was just the next guy.
Right. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good it could be a good feud to like send Moxley off for a little bit if he actually decides to take a break. And obviously Hangman needs something to do right.
I was going to say I might get hate for this, but like I think this could be big for Hangman.
Hangman should win this feud.
This feud. No, I think so too.
Moxley and I mentioned Seth Rollins. Moxley is 1,000% a guy, like, he can eat losses and be fine. Yeah. Like, obviously, like, you want him to be the unstoppable guy. I get that. But, like, eventually, like, you get to a point where, like, you can eat those pins and you put people over big time by eating those.
I think Hangman is just on the cusp of being a star.
He needs this win a lot more than Moxley does.
But, I mean, that's that. I mean, bigger thing that we want to talk about, the MJF promo. I mean, it's the same episode every single week, MJF had one of the best promos of all time. He keeps outdoing himself. And this was huge. And it was one of the, I mean, like, I hate to be here just like a day after, like, that was one of the greatest heel, whatever. But as he has the title, this is the first time we hear him talk as champion. And he explains the Regal thing, and like I said, we'll get into it. But I kind of want to go beat for beat on this on this promo. Just really, really talks about how, when's the last time we've heard a heel champion really talk about how fucking proud he is to be the champion, but also showboating that like it's going to be a spectacle to see me wrestle, and I'm going to be champion for a long time, and really just laying into, like, this is the MJF era of AEW. We are in the dark times of AEW.
I genuinely think he's going to hold on to the belt until his contract runs out, because he's saying, like, I'm going to hold this until the bidding war of 2024.
See, that's my one critique. You
think they're building that up too much?
No. Well, yes and no. My critique is, I think I get it. A big part of his character and all of this was like I'm always shooting for the bigger show. And like WWE has been a big part of his character.
Right, 100%.
I think they didn't need it this time. I get the bidding war is like a real thing that like they can lead on, but like but like
you don't need to bring it up.
He
all the
didn't
time.
need to name drop Nick Khan and Triple H again.
Yeah,
I thought that was a little forced.
Those are the only things in his promos where I think he goes a little bit too much. He does.
I think they usually work.
I think it usually
This I don't
works
think it did.
because I do think it works because like it builds and it makes sense with the story. This time, you didn't have to, like, especially the name dropping and stuff like that.
He was already on it. He's the champion. He's already running on a high. I think you can mention the bidding war.
Yeah, but you don't need to go that far.
Spent way too much time on the WWE thing, and it doesn't tie in to what he's doing
exactly
now, other than the bidding war. But like, I don't know. I thought that was the one rare weak point.
No, I agree with that.
You know, whatever.
100%.
And to be fair, almost breaking the fourth wall, part of his promo was, which I thought this was brilliant, of him saying like, and in a year's time, you marks are going to be saying like, MJF, all he does is talk, and like already jumping ahead of the criticism.
Yes, and I loved that because it's true.
It's true.
It's true. It happens to everyone that wins a championship.
Exactly.
If people turn on
I'm
you
sick
like that.
of him. He doesn't wrestle. He's only good on the mic. There's always the criticisms once someone gets on. I thought that was real. And they can, let's say a year goes by, they can use this footage.
1,000%.
If people are getting, they can tell people are getting sick of him.
He is so in tune with like just wrestling in general. Like you can tell he watches the products. Like he was on a
I love seeing like AEW people tweet about like WarGames.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's cool. He was on he did like a podcast like tour. I call it a tour, like the week prior to Full Gear.
He was on some like Barstool.
He was on
shit,
Barstool.
right?
He was on some Barstool ones, and they're asking about like Sami Zayn and stuff, and he like goes in detail about it, shit, which is awesome.
Yeah,
and like he obviously listens to the fans. He sees like he understands the wrestling, like the wrestling atmosphere, like how there are marks, how people turn on you. Like he understands what goes on.
I wish. And this might be contradictory to what I was saying. I wish he'd left out the Nick Khan and Triple H thing.
Yep.
The one person I think he could have mentioned that I think would have been good is Roman Reigns.
Sure, saying
If
like
he
I'm on
said,
his level
like,
or something like
I'm
that.
on his level, or I'm gonna beat.
Sure.
I think that would have.
That would have.
I think that would. I thought that's where he was going. Which, like, I get it. Maybe you don't want to mention the Roman
because they've never mentioned him before.
They've never mentioned. I get it. Maybe you don't want to overshadow MJ because Roman Reigns is a bigger star.
He is.
So maybe you don't want to overshadow it.
But that brings you That's a lot of attention. If
he was already name dropping WWE, why not just shoot for the biggest guy? And it's like, I'm gonna be the biggest star, including.
I feel
Roman
like
Reigns.
we'll definitely hear his name. And
I
feel like if we get to the point where, like, let's say like a year is closing or something like that, he'd be like, I'm closing in on a year, and before you know it, I'm gonna catch up to Roman Reigns. Also. Yeah. His comments, he was talking about, I'm going to have a reign that made Hulk Hogan and all that look like nothing. He goes, I'm going to have a reign that's making that little shit Bruno Sammartino roll in his grave. Oh my God.
That was fucking hilarious.
That is awesome. That's so good. He had the belt for 10 years. He had the belt for 10 years.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm surprised Roman didn't get dropped.
I know. Yeah, right.
He really, it was probably on purpose. He danced around Roman.
The whole Triple H Nick Khan thing didn't make sense. That would have made sense with what he was saying. 100%. That was so great.
I thought that was
so great.
Fun.
And then obviously he's closing out, introduces the Triple B big Burberry belt.
Triple B big Burberry belt. Which I don't know like Burberry. It's like the pattern.
Yeah.
Burberry. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the scarf.
Yep.
Check
the live subscribers. Want to see live subscribers? All right, because I want to go in on this belt, but like. Oh! 10,007 subscribers. So we had the live count. That was a good idea having this live count up.
I know,
wow.
sick.
Dante, congrats on 10K.
Hey, John.
Congrats on 10K. I was gonna...
okay. Let's do this. This makes more sense. Woo! Thank you guys. We fucking love each and every one of you. That's so fucking cool, dude.
All right, let's bring it down to 5K. Everyone
unsubscribe. We're doing this again.
No.
Right. Dope.
Wow.
Let's go.
Happy 10K. Thank you guys. We're going to get back into it. We won't spend too much time on this, but like, whoa.
2 weeks? Right
just about 3. Probably 3. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
10K subs in 3 weeks. That's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Because like it took us on the former channel, and granted, because it was a new thing, it took us 5 months to get to 37,000. So just, I mean, math.
We're on pace.
Just seeing we're past pace.
We'll see at 100. We'll see at 100K.
Wow. I mean, I don't
That's dope.
Jesus, 10K in
Thank
3
you guys.
weeks.
Thank you.
Wow. All right.
Let's talk about
back to the belt.
The BBB.
So,
Big
my whole
baller
thing,
brand.
and I think you'll agree with this. I kind of was tweeting about this. loved this. I thought it was so reminiscent of classic, like a very our era of heels getting the world title and making it their own. Like the Edge's rated R belts. Daniel Bryan's thing. I mean,
even like in the past, like The Rock has done stuff.
True,
Stone Cold has done stuff. Who else? I mean, John Cena like transformed the spinner belt, basically. But yeah.
And I'm sure there's more, but I think, I mean, it doesn't always happen with a heel, but I think it's a good heel move when they're just like, this is my, and he was like shitting on, he's like, this title
he's like, this reminds me, I think of this and I think of all the people that wore this before, and I'm like, better than all of them. Yeah.
So good. And it's like, it's good that it's ugly. Like, it's good that it's the Burberry shit.
Like, it's not supposed to be like the most beautiful belt you've ever seen. It's supposed to be MJF's belt.
Right.
And that's exactly what they didn't change the design, because the design's fine. The belt's
I'm surprised. I'm glad they didn't change the design, but like, that's what I was
usually
expecting.
That's what they do.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be totally different.
I'm happy they didn't, because it's a great looking belt. I'm just happy they made that subtle change.
Yeah.
Just make it more his.
Because it was very, and that's like that's what I immediately thought was like Edge making it the rated R belt or whatever. That's like so good, really, really vintage heel tactic. And it's just like, it's almost like another notch in his belt of like, I did this. Like he's hitting all these like classic like heel marks that
and you know what's crazy?
Talk to me.
He's only 26.
Isn't that crazy?
He's only 26.
Isn't that crazy?
He's your age.
He's my age.
2 years.
Let's see if he's older or younger than me.
All right, everyone. That's our favorite game. Is MJF older than John?
I think he's younger.
March 15th.
You're June, so he's a couple months older, right?
Wow,
that makes sense.
Damn. Yeah, because you're 27, right?
Huh?
Because he'd be turning 27 next year. You're turning 27 next year.
Yes.
Okay.
Damn. But still, I mean, only a couple months off from MJF. I mean, that's fucking crazy.
That's why I think with like Jason Tatum, because he's 2 months older than me. I'm just like, look at him, and what am I doing?
What do you mean? We just hit 10K on
Jason Tatum doesn't have 10K on a wrestling.
That's true.
On a wrestling YouTube account. But yeah, belt was cool. Everything was great. And then when you think it's about to end, he goes, whoa, William Regal, I just want to tell you something. Takes out the brass knuckles.
And he even, like, before he got to that, is like, he was talking about, like, he like ran down Danielson, and he goes a little bit of like, like, Regal, I know that's your guy, but like, he's not as good as me. And like, you know, you could tell Regal was like, he's with MJF, but there's still a little bit like, that's my son.
I wouldn't say that if I were you, type of thing.
But go ahead.
Puts on the brass knuckles, talk to the mic, talking about how he couldn't do this without him, this and that, and just fucking boom, clocks him in the back of the head.
He says, Regal said I shouldn't have used the ring. He said, use the nuts.
Yep. Now, and he did. And he fucking did. And he leans over him.
Bow.
And he is just like, basically quotes the email that he sent him years ago. Oh, my. Just flips it around.
I thought so fucking good. Just flip the email. I forget. Let's see if I can find
That's such a good touch. That's such a great touch, bro, to end it. Oh my God.
Let's see if I can find the email.
And while you're finding the email for that, I think we also should mention, because it is very much like in the rumor mill right now. Obviously, we don't want to jump on rumors because we don't know what's real and what's not. But there have been rumors saying William Regal could potentially make his way back to WWE. He's still under contract with AEW. But from what we've seen on Twitter and social media is that last night may have been the write-off for William Regal to go back to WWE, which we talked about this a little bit. I mean, William Regal is a Triple H guy. Like, NXT was his thing. Like, I get it. Like, he's been in WWE for a very long time. But, like, something must be going on. Obviously we don't know. But if he does leave to go to WWE, I'm curious what the reasoning actually is. Because if you have years left on your deal, I get it. You want to go back. But, like, it's not like they haven't been using him. Like, they've been using him for great storylines. Like, the whole Blackpool. I mean, he came in right away with...
it must be just a money thing.
With Brian and Moxley. Could be
a money thing, or just wants to be with
or
Hunter.
Like just backstage politics or something, because like it's not like they weren't using him. He was in great storylines, and he's just packing up and leaving. If that's the case,
yeah, it is. I mean, like strictly storyline, it's like whether he's gone tomorrow or not. Strictly storyline, either way, the story like was a cool swerve.
Yes,
because I think
I didn't expect.
Let's just say, assuming for right now, because I do want to talk about, but for right now, ignoring the rumor mill about Regal. Strictly looking at a story, I think that was great for MJF because he doesn't need a mouthpiece. He is the mouthpiece. And I think, I mean, like, turning on the guy that helped you win, I don't know, I think turning on Regal and showing that I don't need him solidified him as like, I'm the next Regal.
Devil, bro.
I'm the next. It's the
He's
devil.
The devil.
It all just kind of worked into it, and like, it very much like, I don't need anyone.
Yeah,
which I think helps.
Word for word, I don't know. I'm some kind of
I
paraphrasing.
wouldn't have loved it if Regal was his manager.
Sure. You know? I mean, I was saying like I thought William Regal could have been the one to take him to the next level, which I do think that could have happened. But like you said, he doesn't need Regal. Right. He doesn't need him. He doesn't need a mouthpiece or anything like that. We kind of talked about him being like could have been like a teacher-student type of situation. But regardless, MJF is fine with or without him. And it's a great touch him turning on Regal because it was unexpected.
Oh, then just a little.
And the suit better than you.
The suit better than you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to find. I can't find the quote. Whatever. But yeah, it was to tie all that back in. Yeah, super cool way. Just like, fuck. What was the ending line? Like, come back to me when you're on my level, or some shit like that. Yeah, come back to me when you're on my
level. Signed, like, Maxwell Jacob.
Yeah.
It was something along those lines.
Either way. Great. Fucking great.
It was great.
But yeah, I will be curious to see if, like you said, the next couple of days you were already talking about. But yeah, if we see Regal goes to WWE, I would love to see him stay in AEW.
I'm fine with him
I can't imagine.
I'm fine with him either.
I can't imagine what he's going to do unless they bring him back to NXT. I think he'd be a great asset to NXT.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm down for whatever.
Exactly.
I love Regal, so I think Regal's gotten a nice little. I don't want to say restart, but like a
refresh,
reignite, refresh in his career.
Yeah, because he was a GM for a long time. Right. Came in here, started being a manager again, mouthpiece, fucking awesome.
And to still have compelling stories like that at like his
and
age in this company, too, and people love him. Like that's some longevity.
He's a legend,
in the
bro.
business,
He's a legend.
Sure.
Shout out William Regal.
All right, we are at an hour. We got a couple more things, but I feel like that was all the main things. Ricky Starks is going to enter, which this is confusing to me, but Ricky Starks is going to enter the Diamond Ring Battle Royal thing, even though he doesn't need to because he already has like the opportunity. He is already like the number one guy or whatever.
Right. I guess
his reasoning, which is like, I want to take everything from you. I want to take the ring. Which I get it. It's a nice way to give reasoning for it. But
MJF's the only guy that ever win the Diamond Ring. He's won it 3 years in a row.
Oh yeah.
So
wow.
So MJF is gonna go for a 4-piece. It could be cool. Like Ricky Starks wins it, and he's just like, I can beat you. Like now I'm gonna take your belt, and then MJF just kind of destroys him in the championship match.
We have here are the competitors for. Hold on. Sorry. All right. It's Jungle Boy, the fancy dude that looks like Mark Ribier that we saw
from ROH. I think
I like him.
I forget what his name is.
I'm sorry, I forget his name. Ethan Page, not an Ethan Page fan. Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Matt Hardy, and that's fucking what's his name?
I don't know.
Ricky Starks already, or no? Did Hook beat? Doesn't matter. Anyway, those are all competitors. What's his name? Whatever.
Say. But yeah,
we're doing this live. It's a live show. Well, it's not live, but you know what I mean. Anyway, who do you see here? Is Ricky Starks the clear winner? I could see Jungle Boy winning.
I think if they're doing the whole Ricky Starks MJF thing, I think it only makes sense for Ricky Starks to win.
Because
he did he bring up Jungle Boy and MJF in the promo last night? I know he mentioned he mentioned a few people. Maybe he didn't mention Jungle Boy, but like Jungle Boy, I feel like would be the only other one that makes sense. Kind of like give him something. Coming off his win against Luchasaurus.
Lee Moriarty. I think that's Lee Moriarty.
Who?
Lee Moriarty.
Which one?
This guy.
Yeah. I know better than me. You know better than me.
Is it not Lee Moriarty?
No, it looks like him.
I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ricky Starks. I think that just makes the most sense.
Yeah. 10,018.
Woo,
I just
we're
opened up
growing,
the live
baby.
Subscriber thing by accident. Yeah, I'm not too invested in this Diamond Battle Royal. I get why they're having it. I think it could be bumped up or spruced up a little bit.
It's just another not even a championship. It's just another thing to hold that doesn't get defended or anything like that.
Let's see. At this point, I'm determined to find the. Sean Dean, Captain Sean Dean. Still don't know who that is.
Captain Sean Dean.
Ethan Page,
Dalton
Brian Cage.
Castle.
Dalton Castle. Jesus, that was a tough one to work through. But yeah, that's that. I'm excited for Ricky. It sucks he's just gonna get beaten by MJF. But what are you gonna do?
At least he's getting a match.
At least he's there. Yeah. At least he's there. Dax Harwood versus Bryan Danielson. Dax Harwood is one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet, brother.
I'm gonna rewatch this. Watch it tonight. I didn't get a chance to watch this last night.
Really good match. I don't want to spoil it for you much. It's just like all to say about it is like really good match. Respect shown at the end.
Just two great technical wrestlers.
Yeah, really cool. And like I said, I'm notably not the biggest Bryan Danielson fan. I'm aware that he's like one of the greatest in the world.
Sure.
He just doesn't do it for me necessarily.
Fair.
But I mean, like he puts on great matches. And Dax, I wish Dax Harwood won just because I'm selfishly more of a Dax Harwood fan.
Yeah.
That's just me. Less of thinking booking, more of just rooting.
Sure.
For,
no, that makes
for
sense.
Dax Harwood.
That makes sense.
And that's what I want.
I mean, he's a good enough wrestler, and Danielson's a guy that puts people over. So it wouldn't have been a shocker if Dax won.
The Elite versus Death Triangle.
This is all yours, brother.
I also don't have. I mean, like mostly because we've been talking for an hour and I'm getting tired. So, would we all like to apologize to SCW for everyone's comments in the TikTok that kind of went off about the dancing and about... I'll give everyone a minute to just kind of say, we're sorry, John and Dante, you guys were right. Okay, we'll give you all a minute.
Go ahead, take your time.
Okay, thank you. Everyone that's all the comments, and I'm not here to, this podcast isn't going to be talking about our TikTok comments, but a lot of the criticism, like, oh, the Bucks don't sell and they have the same match. First of all, anyone that says that wasn't watching the match. Second of all, if you watched this match last night, they sell in every match, but if you watched this match last night, brother, everyone was selling. Yeah. Come on. It was a really good match. I don't think it was as good of a match as their first two, which I think these are needed. I think these smaller, especially if they're doing a best of 7.
Yeah, you can't put on 5-star matches every time.
These smaller, more story-driven ones I think are very much needed. I really love the integration of the hammer, and this time, because at first Penta, in the early start of it, Penta didn't want to use it. Now Penta's like, fuck it, I'm using the hammer. Rey Fenix is still the one that's anti-hammer and anti-cheating, so he's stopping his brother. We got a little Penta shove of Fenix, which I'm nervous about because I don't want the Lucha Brothers to break up. I think they both can go on an amazing singles run,
right.
but I love them together.
Yeah.
I honestly don't care about Pac being, and I like Pac, but like, I'm way more of a Lucha Brothers fan than I am a Death Triangle fan.
He's just kind of like there.
Yeah.
He's cool. Pac is great, but yeah, I get that.
The Elite take it. I was surprised. I thought we were gonna see what you were talking about last week of like maybe Death Triangle going up 3-0.
Yeah.
But I'm cool. I mean, 2-1. The Elite has one.
It could be. I don't know. I don't know if I want them to go up 3-1 because then I think you kind of look weak if you lose like 3 straight and you lose the entire thing.
Yeah, I'm down for maybe like
Triangle.
The Elite maybe take another one.
Yeah,
and
2-2.
And then Death Triangle takes another
3-2.
one.
That makes. That
I mean, it's gonna go to number 7.
It's gonna.
Yeah. It would be funny if they stopped at 6.
They would.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, they'd be stupid. Yeah. Imagine it's like, oh no, we're just gonna do a sweep or something like that.
But like
4 in a row.
Again, this was the third match. I honestly don't have too much to say about this match other than like the wrestling, and it was such a different match. Obviously, they're the same wrestlers; they have similar movesets, but like such a different match than the first two. They really leaned on like separating it was clear the way this story was told to me is like the Elite saw the first 2 matches and they learned how to kind of beat them. So they kind of separated Pac and they focused on like
good storytelling.
How like Pac jumped off the top, knees up into the face that played on like the whole mask and like his like nose being broken or whatever. And then we got to see Kenny Omega close out a show for the first time ever.
Yep.
Where he was like, and thank you and bang and good night. And I think that was really great. And
looking forward to the next one.
I think at this point, if you're not into it, you just don't like that style of wrestling, which is fine.
Just to say you don't like that style of wrestling.
Just say you don't like that style of wrestling.
You
don't need to shit on it. If you actually watch the match, everyone's selling. And like even throughout like that Dax Harwood and Bryan Danielson match is probably the most like classic wrestling match you're gonna get today.
Right.
And there were multiple times where Danielson got hit by a clothesline, springs right up. Dax gets hit by something, springs right up. Which is just
that shit happens. The first thing I thought of when you talk about like the no selling and stuff, when Thunder Rosa won the women's belt from Britt Baker in the steel cage match, she was doing like her finishers on like chairs and stuff, and Britt Baker would just get up right away. Like she wasn't selling a fucking thing, and that, in my opinion, that kind of ruined the match for me. But like that shit happens. It's not just that. Like it's like they're singling them out. It's like they're separating them, saying, "Oh, they just don't sell."
But I'd even say
happens.
I'd even say the difference between like the Bucks and Dax Harwood and Danielson versus the Britt Baker thing is the Britt Baker thing seems like it kind of took away from it. I think this quote unquote, I don't even think that's
I'm not
no
saying
selling.
they're taking away from it. I'm just saying in the sense like other people do it too.
Right. But what I'm saying,
they don't take away from it. Them no selling or whatever they do
I think,
isn't ruining the match.
I think this is what you're saying. It's basically them doing the classic hulking up thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking.
Britt Baker wasn't hulking up. It was just no selling. But like Dax Harwood, Danielson, the Bucks, Penta, they're all doing like the you hit me and I'm getting stronger, or my adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah, like Danielson gets like
story.
kicked in the chest and he's just like getting going and stuff. That's wrestling. It happens, guys. Wrestling isn't real. Let's just get this out of the way. Like it's scripted. They know it's gonna happen during the match. This shit happens. Okay, it's wrestling. It's been going on since the fucking God knows how long. It's in gymnasiums in the 40s or 50s or whatever it was. It happens. It's wrestling.
I think last topic I want to touch on, in my opinion, CM Punk is coming back. Who are we kidding?
You think so?
Oh my God, yeah. They didn't tease anything this week.
I'm just honestly at this point I'm just on wait and see. It's not that I'm over it. It's just listen. If he comes back, he comes back. That'll be great. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like the subtle shots definitely makes me think that there is still like they're trying to like keep him relevant and they're trying to keep it going so people it eventually leads to that Omega or that elite CM Punk feud. But it also just could be them doing that. You know what I mean? And then there was that thing that came out saying that the storyline was supposed to be against CM Punk, MJF, and the talent is no longer with the company. Mm-hmm. And that could definitely just be a part of the storyline to make people think, oh, he's really gone. So when he comes back, it's a bigger pop. Again, it's not that I don't care. Mm-hmm. It's just if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
At this, and maybe I'm just giving because like at this point, how like a lot of wrestling storylines are so blended with reality and not. Yeah. I could 100% just be just falling for all the thing. But like at this point, there's been so many just little like sprinklings, and it could just be petty shit, and that could all it be. At this point, I'm putting my chips in, and I'm saying we're gonna see CM Punk.
Like that's
back.
what I'm saying. You put a gun to my head, and you ask me, is he coming back or not? I'm just pulling the trigger. Like I'm not even answering I don't know. You're right because they've been, especially AEW, they blur the lines with reality and professional wrestling. This could be a little bit of both, where it is reality, but hey, the professionals...
And they turned it into like a story.
Exactly. And listen, if you're into making money, and CM Punk likes to make money, there's a reason why he's back wrestling, he's making a lot of money. If he shows up again... That might be a bigger pop than him returning.
Oh, I wasn't even going to say... I thought he was going to get booed out the building.
Oh, really?
That's what I think.
I think it would have been a bigger shocker of him returning this time than him returning the first time. Maybe shocker is the word I'm thinking of. Because everyone kind of knew he was coming. It was the worst kept secret of him coming to AEW.
It was in Chicago. For like the month leading up to
everyone knew. But now it's like very much like no one knows. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
if he shows up at like the next pay-per-view, however long they build this up.
I'd freak out. I think
at this point,
dope,
I don't think there's any shot he goes to WWE. No. At this point. No. But like
that door is shut for sure.
I could see AEW swerving us.
Could. And they've done that. So it wouldn't shock me, but I'm not I don't care.
Well, that's a week of wrestling.
We were worried that we weren't gonna have enough things to talk about.
We were.
This is the longest.
In my head,
I was
really.
I was like, I
was like, we are gonna go over.
Oh, we did. We did.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, this was probably one of the best weeks of wrestling.
No, I agree. There was a lot to talk
about.
There was a lot to talk about. Great. Hey, the thing is, and it's great because now Triple H in charge. We're having like two shows like genuinely going back and forth with each other. It's not like AEW is the best show every week now. It's kind of like. They're going head to head.
It's like AEW and SmackDown, and then it's like Raw's like, come on.
I agree. Raw,
you did good this week.
But that's because Raw's fucking 3 hours. Just cut it down an hour. You don't need 3.
When they announced that like the first hour was gonna be commercial free, I was like, oh great. Yeah. Awesome.
Sick. Yeah, that'll really make me watch 3 hours of it. But yeah, that's wrestling.
That's wrestling. Again, obviously you're at the tail end of this, but. We are available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're trying to get up on there and charted and on all of that stuff. So if you want to listen to just the audio version, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and please leave us a review. And if you already listened to us, hey, you might already be listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Right. So we thank you for listening. If you could leave a review and all of that stuff. Please subscribe. We hit 10K in the middle of the stream. Thank you guys. You can follow me at Raspy Taylor on Twitter, Instagram, on YouTube, and on Spotify, and Well, this is just a smaller personal note, but a lot of people that watch this listen to my music, and my Spotify Wrapped came out, and it was fucking crazy.
Sick. I saw that.
It was fucking
Congratulations.
Crazy.
The year by year step for the progress has been insane.
Really nuts.
I'm very happy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's a very cool thing.
I'm sure there's some crossover here. So I'd like to give my sincerest thank you. Next year is going to be even crazier. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter, Dante on Deck, and you can find me anywhere else, Dante Toro 11. Check me out.
All right. That sounds like a pod to me.
That sounds like a pod. Let's close it out with one more. If you're watching, if you're listening, you probably already know what we're doing too. But until next time, peace.